Hello and welcome to Darlington, South Carolina, site to race number 25 of the Coke Vanilla Cup Series season, and it's time for the Mountain Dew Southern 500 under the lights here on the East Coast. On the pole today, if you didn't watch qualifying, is Alex Hawkins, and he'll start next to Kenny Bale. Two drivers not going to probably make the chase, but still looking to go out there and have a good time and get some momentum, hopefully going in before next season. Row 2 sees Jake Baskinger and Stephen Paul III, a guy who can clinch today, depending on if he finishes high enough. All he has to do is just make sure that he can be ahead, far enough ahead of 31st in points by the time we leave here today. Hiroshi Kazuyoshi and Mason Powers make up row number 3, with Ben Neworth, Dylan Thoreau in row 4, and Ali Nelson and Sky Commons in row number 5. Here's the rest of your starting grid as we go through the points that are oh so important for this series because of how many winners we've had. Chris Washer comes in as the points leader by 56 points over Steve Pollard. It is 68-point gap to Dylan Young and 126 back to Tom Shelley. Those are the only 4 drivers who could leave here as the points leader. Also currently in the chase grid on points, but ever so slightly, is the 55 of Jean Sanford. The reason I say that is because she is the last driver in on points. Also, because of that, with drivers like Sam Curtis only 1 point out of the top 30, that could change ever so. Much by the end of this race. You look at it is a 38-point gap between Jean Sanford and fellow Dodge driver Tom Shelley. As there was the command onboards that we will carry here today. We'll start off with the points leader carrying the CarQuest onboard of Chris Washer. Steve Pollard will be carrying the Chevy onboard. Dylan Young, the Budweiser onboard camera today. Tom Shelley will be carrying the Dodge onboard camera. The aforementioned Jean Sanford will carry the Napa onboard camera today. Sky Commons is carrying the Stanley Tools onboard. And carrying the Ford Coke Vanilla onboard camera will be the past champion, Mary Shelley. Mary Shelley coming into this race still looking for that first top 5 of the year. Wouldn't that be ever so great, helpful for them? As the cars roll through turns 3 and 4, we're ready for 37 laps. We do anticipate at least 1 pit stop today, depending on when the caution comes out and how drivers are doing on fuel. Pace cars off. We've had very eventful demo derby type races to start the weekend. How will we end it? On a totally different track. All 3 races on different tracks this weekend. And the Mountain Dew Southern 500 is green. Hawkins leads the field down to turn number 1 there. You see Baskinger also going to clear his Gibbs Racing teammate there in the 11 by the time they exit turn number 2. And Baskinger going to fall in line. Looked like he might have been trying to make a move on the 70. Indeed, he will. To the inside. Battle for the lead off turn number 4. Hawkins leads lap 1, but that's going to be all he leads as new leader, Jake Baskinger. And we did make it through a green flag lap. Hiroshi Kazuyoshi, Ben Neworth, top 3 as Sky Commons makes his way into 4th. Commons comes into this race on the outside looking into the chase right now in 6th as Alex Hawkins in the wall. We'll see a lot of that today. So we've got our first Darlington stripe as Hiroshi Kazuyoshi, the Japanese import, goes for the race lead from Jake Baskinger, and we'll have it as they exit turn number 2. But for how long? Because Sky Commons right there as well. Field getting spaced out a little bit, which is good. Jake Baskinger in the wall. Contact, and they're going to save it. Ben Neworth, the big loser on that. Damage to both the left and the right side of the Waste Management Dodge. Axel Casello going to lose a lot of ground, as well as he had to go to the bottom of the track and had terrible entry into turn number 1. Meanwhile, new leader is Sky Commons, and the top 4 have broken away. Nearly 3 wide as Sky Commons now adds his name to the Darlington Stripe Club, as well as Tom Shelley there, I believe, off turn number 4 in the 45. Dylan Thoreau now to the lead. Car on the apron there through turns 1 and 2. I couldn't quite see who it was. Oh well. Back up to the front, check through the back, see kind of how this one's going. Problem is that this field's going to have to kind of get sorted out a little bit here. And a lot of stuff happening early going. Tough break for Ben Neuwirth there. 2-time winner this season. You see the damage to both sides of his Dodge. And you see the damage to the left side of Baskinger's car after he banged into the 23. And you see the damage to the right side of his car. Ben Neuwirth now in the wall. 23. No harm, no foul there. Everyone continues on. Back up towards the front as Stephen Paul III has grabbed the lead from Dylan Thoreau. And now Kazuyoshi back into second. Good run for Jonathan Zorline. Came across the line in 4th. Currently runs in 5th. As Kazuyoshi peeks inside, here comes Kyle Matthews up towards the front. Inside the top 10 as the top 8 have broken away from the rest of the field now, as most of the people try and kind of still get around lap traffic here, or slower cars. Sam Curtis now caught on the outside. Will lose some ground. Bram Patterson up to the wall. He's got a Darlington stripe now. So add the Roush Racing Ford to the club tonight. Already just 9 laps in. Look at the back of the field where they're still side by side most of the way through this. There you see Ben Neuwirth still falling back. Hasn't gone to the inside yet. I imagine part of that is his car is definitely off the pace because of the damage sustained from the wreck with the 18, or the near wreck I should say. Mason Powers now into the wall in the 16. Neuwirth gets the wall again. Dylan Young was in the wall back there. And new leader in town as Stephen Paul III has been passed by the Japanese import. Hiroshi Kazuyoshi, Dylan Thoreau, and now Kenny Bale going to be the new 3rd place car. As does Pollard get the wall? No, he does not. So, well, never mind. He got off turn 4. Tom Shelley was in the wall. And around goes the 27. Caution flag flies as Sam Young goes around. And oh boy. Charles Jackson's got a piece of it. Henry Powers, Amy Shelley. Big damage to Eric Enrage, who did lock his way into the chase by qualifying for this race. But coming to the line, Dylan Thoreau will lead, and we'll take a short break as I'm getting a phone call. And we're back with your typical case of wrong place, wrong time, and Sam Young just definitely in the wrong place there. You see Steve Pollard spins to the inside. No harm really done by him. Gene Sanford with a near escape. Looks like Theo Stegall actually also with some damage as well. There you see Charles Jackson getting involved, and quite a few points contenders there with onboards seen driving through that. Let's go ahead and take an onboard with 1 or 2 of them. I've got a couple in mind. First onboard we're going to take is onboard the Napa Dodge of Gene Sanford. Onboard Dylan Young, if you look at the top left part of your screen, you'll just be able to see this wreck start. And we are back to showcase the pit stops. Some of the drivers still catching up, so I don't agree with having the pits open here. Major advantage to the leaders as some of the field is still catching up. You see Theo Stegall there on pit lane. We saw him involved. But either way, Dylan Thoreau leads the field down. You see some of the field there already. And I would be willing to bet that the call up and down the pits are going to be 4 tires and fuel here. Maybe not. Right sides only. And that's by the leader. So brave call there. Dylan Thoreau will win the race off pit lane. Long pit stop there for Kenny Bale. Not quite sure what's going on with the 11. Finally away, and he's going to lose a ton of ground. Was second, entering the pits. And he might end up being somewhere in the 20s. But with that, let's go back to the... Okay, some confusion apparently on where people are lining up. Either way, let's go back to the green flag here. And we are back after some brief confusion on what the lineup was supposed to be off pit lane. We got all settled out, and we are ready to go racing with 37 cars on the racetrack and 15 laps complete when we take the green flag. You see there Eric Enridge, Theo Stegall, Sam Young, Amy Shelley, and Charles Jackson out of the race. Field rundown as we get ready to go back green. Dylan Thoreau leads, Kyle Matthews second, Jonathan Zorline third, Brian Patterson and Allie Nelson the top 5, with Sam Curtis, Ash Curtis, Hiroshi Kazuyoshi, Preston Plord, and Henry Sanford the top 10. Ashley Brock, Zach Kreller, Stephen Paul III, Daniel Day, Axel Casella, Tom Shelley, Troy King, Gene Sanford, Jake Bassinger, Sky Combs the top 20. Dylan Casella, William Duncan, Mason Power, Steve Pollard, Mary Shelley, Momo Akari, Kenny Bale, Ben Neuwirth, Levi McIntyre, and Kyle Collins, the top 30. Alex Hawkins, Alex Perkle, Jessica Shelton, Henry Powers, Chris Washer, Dylan Young, and Mason Neal, the lead lap runners in this one. With the retirement there of Sam Young from this race, that pretty much will all but ensure that Sam Curtis will be in the top 30 in points leaving this race. The only thing question then becomes, when we look at the 43 and the 99, Jessica Shelton, Levi McIntyre, will either of them be able to move into the top 30, leaving Darlington? Either way, field off turn number 4, and the Mountain Dew Sun 500 is back to racing. Great restart there for the 7 as Dylan Thoreau kind of caught Kyle Matthews sleeping a little bit. Remember, 2 tires for the leaders. I don't know who the first car is that's on 4 fresh tires. But remember, Kenny Bale, long pit stop. He restarted in the 27th position. He came down to pit lane in 2nd. Jake Baskinger getting shoved up out of line by Sky Commons there. Going to get the wall off turn number 4 as well. And looks like Mason Neal, Henry Powers might be a little bit off the pace. As we've got a new leader, Kyle Matthews in the 09 car, saying, hey, I'm not going to try and worry about if I get on points. If I win, it's taken care of. But he's going to have Jonathan Zorline looking to his inside now in the 25, Thoreau into the wall. And Neuwirth was wall riding off turn number 4 there. Does Baskinger have anything for him? There you see the 12 and the 90. There's the 23 also. He's been shoved to the back of the field, so hopefully we won't have to deal with him too much today, I guess. Seems like the damage is too much for his car. Battle for the lead, though, now, as Thoreau gets the wall again. Pollard, I think, was in the 27 there in the wall. Allie Nelson going to go for 3rd inside of the 17. And new leader, the Hendrick Racing number 25 GMAC Chevy of Jonathan Zorline. Sam Curtis wanting a 2nd win, maybe. He's looking for 3rd. Does Matthews keep out of the wall? Yes, he does off turn number 4. A little bit of contact there. No harm, no foul. As Pollard gets the wall again in the 27. And now Allie Nelson setting her sights on the 25 of Zorline. Ash Curtis clears, and Kazuyoshi now into 4th. Kyle Matthews back to the inside line now in 5th. As Sam Curtis into the wall, the 66. Preston Plord also got the wall there. And I think I might have seen the 43. There was someone that looked close. I couldn't confirm whether or not they hit the wall, though. Looking at the battles going on here inside top 10, Zach Kreller, our most recent winner, now passes the 66. And Sam Young in the wall again. Back-to-back laps at the Sandisk Chevy gets the wall. Mary Shelley and Dylan Thoreau also wall riding through 3 and 4. And new leader, Bill Davis Racing's 22 of Allie Nelson now leads at Darlington. As Ash Curtis, Hiroshi Kazuyoshi now into 2nd and 3rd. Going for the lead is Ash Curtis, and they're going to be possibly 3 wide at Darlington. As Curtis into the wall again in the 66. Ash Curtis's lead going to be short-lived. Now Hiroshi Kazuyoshi back to the top spot. And meanwhile, you look at some drivers falling towards the back. Mason Powers, Steve Pollard have gotten on the wall a couple times. So too is Jake Baskinger. Now they appear to be off the pace. Allie Nelson into the wall, and Pollard makes some contact there. Everyone keeps it going forward direction. And look at Brennan Patterson on the apron there. I couldn't quite catch his entry into turn 1. But a lot of drivers passing Patterson around the outside there. You see Nelson with the damage on the 22 now to both sides of that car. And in the wall again is Nelson. Sam Curtis also in the wall again. Meanwhile, back up front, battle for the lead. Hiroshi Kazuyoshi, Kyle Matthews battling for the top spot. And here comes Henry Sanford in the 31. Ashley Brock in the 26. And Kazuyoshi's in the wall. Daniel Day gets the wall back here, and a big pack of cars back here. Gene Sanford started way back in the field, currently runs in 12th. Now into 11th there with the 55. Meanwhile, the top 6 have just broken away from the rest of the field. I don't know if Axel Casella got the wall or not. Doesn't appear so. Just maybe got a little bit of contact from someone or held up by the 28. Dylan Casella there, the 06 into the wall. As Preston Plord now moves inside of Stephen Pollard III. Pretty easy move there. I thought I saw a caution flag flying. No, I did not. But new leader, Henry Sanford in the 31 car. Kyle Matthews going to have to try and avoid getting the wall off turn number 4 here. And he will do so as we've got a battle for the top spot once again. Ashley Brock in the 26. Crown Royal Roush Fenway, or Roush Racing Ford, I should say. Going for the lead, and Zach Kreller might look for second here on the 31. No, he does not, and Kazuyoshi thought about making a move there as well. Stephen Paul III now starting to fall back on, has fallen outside the top 10 as both he and William Duncan are in the wall. And I'll be right back. No, I won't. Never mind. Sorry if you're hearing that, but not something I'm picking up. So looking through the field now as some Daniel Day in the wall once again. 3 wide off turn number 4. No harm, no foul. Everyone keeps it going straight once again. As Gene Sanford tries to battle with Brennan Patterson down the back straightaway for the 8th position. Patterson going to throw it in there into turn number 3. Sanford going to try and keep out of the wall. Not going to be successful. So add the 55 Napa Dodge to the list of Darlington stripes. Meanwhile, new leader in town, Zach Kreller in the 20. Kazuyoshi now to second. As once again, top 6 breaking away. Troy King now into 7th, Patterson 8th, Sky Commons 9th, and Preston Plord rounding out the top 10. Solid runs for a lot of guys. Kenny Bale's been an up and down day. Remember, he restarted 27th, now runs in the 13th position. And now it looks like it might be the top 5, maybe? Ashley Brock a little over second back right now as Kreller continues to pace the field, looking for 2 wins in a row as Hiroshi Kazuyoshi tries to run him down. Just looking through the field, trying to see if they're catching any lap cars. Doesn't appear so just yet. Also just kind of going through the field to show you where you are running right now if you're curious. Kazuyoshi getting passed by Henry Sanford and now Kyle Matthews after losing the 2nd position on the racetrack. Darlington Stripes, a common theme tonight, and no real surprise there as Mason Neal is exiting turn number 2, so they could be a few laps away, and with only 4 laps to go, they could be a factor there with the 12. And how interesting that once again, Furniture Row Racing in contention at Darlington. I talked about in qualifying. This is a team that came so very close to winning back in Season 2. They took Season 3 off. They're looking for another solid run at the Darlington here. Could it be one better, though, than the 2nd place that they got in one of the closest finishes in Coke Vanilla history? Could they get the win with Ash Curtis as Zach Kreller's in the wall? Henry Sanford, Kyle Matthews going to try and have something to say about it with 2 laps to go. Can they catch the 78? Will they catch the 90 or even the 12? They're making solid gains. Henry Sanford off turn number 4. Ironically enough, it was a RCR car that denied the 78 a win back in Season 2 with with one of the Austins. I forget which one. Battle for 2nd, though, on the white flag lap. Gonna pretty much seal the deal for the 78 of Ash Curtis. Coming through turns 3 and 4. Matthews ain't gonna be able to catch him. And they won't catch the lap traffic. Ash Curtis will win the Mountain Dew Southern 500. First win for him and Furniture Row Racing in the Coke Vanilla Cup Series. Kyle Matthews comes up 2nd. Kazuyoshi 4th. Ashley Brock 5th. Henry Sanford 3rd. Zach Kreller, Troy King, Sky Commons, Momo Akari, and Preston Plord. The top 10. So a solid race here today. Spectacular racing once again from Darlington. It does not disappoint ever. Congrats to Ash Curtis on his first career win. It probably won't do much in terms of the chase grid. I don't think Ash Curtis is eligible. Let me double check. This will freeze for a moment. Well, it could. Okay, so Ash Curtis, the interesting story there. Ash Curtis, was still chase eligible by the slimmest of margins. He was 46th in points entering the race, but I don't think he's going to really worry about it. It is his first career win. It puts him into the All-Star race for next season. And Kyle Matthews, oh so close again, 2nd place. Solid run for him. 12th in the points coming in. That will help a great deal. Like to thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed some Darlington racing here at the Lady in Black. I don't know why I said that. That was one of the more random statements I've ever had. Either way, like I said, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. We've got Richmond and the deciding race for the 16-driver chase grid next, or up next at some point here shortly on this channel. Thank you for everything.